What's going on? Welcome to QVO Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be about the games coming to retail the week of March 24th. We have a great lineup of games. Some of these games are actually ones that I'm really looking forward to. I'm really excited to talk about. So let's get this video going. First things first, keep in mind, I'm covering games coming to retail in the US. Last thing, keep in mind, if a game's retail release date changes, I'll make sure to update you about that change in its new respective video. Let's get this going. Let's make this a quick video. Confusing Lands by Born Games has already been out. It came out last week, actually. I forgot to mention it and forgot to bring it up. However, Confusing Lands is a game by the Born Games publisher, and they have a series of games called the Tiny Game series. So all these games, and there's a bunch of them. There's three other different ones, and plus Confusing Lands is a new one. And I'm gonna scroll down a little bit so you can see them here. Sirens, Defrag, 16 Candies, and they all even fit in a fanny pack. So it's really interesting and cool, the concept of it all. And they're all tiny games, and they are all extremely fun. I got the opportunity to play them recently, and I have had so much fun with them. So Confusing Lands, I got to play at Gamma. In Confusing Lands, it's basically the whole premise is a drafting game. You're going to draft tiles or little cards that you're going to be lining up to make up points. So each time you line them up, you have different scoring conditions, have it be mountains, have it be the lakes in a specific line. There's a bunch of different things going on. It's actually a lot of fun. And for being such a small game, there's so much to think about and so much to consider while playing the game. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I think it's going to be one that you're going to have around as a small game. That's something you bring out before you play with a bigger group, or like something you bring out where you wait for your bigger group to show up. Let's say a friend shows up, you get to play a quick game. You play this quickly, it's a 1 to 2 player game, and then you get it over with. It's great. I love it a lot. Here's a bigger version of it, a bigger looking version of it. Really, it looks bigger here, of course, but it's super small. I love it. It's great. Confusing Lands by Board Games came out last week. You should be able to pick it up this week. Coming up next, Faraway by Pandasaurus Games, coming out to you on March 27th. I'm hopelessly not far away. I'm pretty sure it's far away. Sometimes these games lately, I've been saying these names and I look them up a bit later, and they're not even how they sound. They're not even pronounced how they sound or how they're spelled out, which I've noticed recently after I kind of take a look at them. But Faraway is going to be a game by Pandasaurus. In this specific game, I'm going to scroll down for you to get some pictures. In this game, you're going to be drafting cards, right? Drafting cards, and these cards are and they're actually more like little squares almost. And when you draft them, you're going to be organizing these cards in a specific order. And the reason why is because as you go and explore these different regions and you take your meeples and pass them through, you're going to score different conditions. But however, keep it in mind, as you are building it out, on your way back, you're going to have fame. You're going to get more points doing so. So having them the way you draft them and the way you organize them on the way back can score you many amount of points. This game looks interesting. It looks really cool. I love the art first and foremost. It's based off a really cool theme, and they really go over in the rulebook very deep into the rulebook to explain to you the theme and be very kind to the the fact they're using this theme in the game. You play 8 cards in front of you from left to right. Cards represent regions. You come across exploring the land's characters. On these cards will grant you fame. Later, fulfill the conditions they demand. And at the end of the game, you walk your way back the way you explored, and you score the cards in opposite order. I'm just saying the same thing twice at that point. It's a very straightforward game, very simple, it's very simple, straightforward game. However, it does look like a lot of fun. I really want to try this game out. This is Faraway by Pandasaurus Games, coming out to you on March 27th. Moving on to Flashback Lucy by Scorpion Mask and Hachette Board Games, coming out to you on March 27th. So, Flashback is a series done by Scorpion Mask, and it is basically a deduction game with pictures, essentially, right? You're investigating through images, as what you're doing. And this is just going to be a different theme compared to the other ones they have released. In Flashback Lucy, you are following the story of Lucy, who has gained mysterious powers, and along with these powers, they are also associated with some haunting or paranormal activities. You're going to go through and look at the pictures and try to find out the mystery or find out what's going on, and you're going to go through a series or a story. Pretty cool stuff. This is kind of like a very lighthearted investigation game, I would call it almost. Very like family friendly and such, cooperative, of course. That's pretty much that's the premise of it. They have the different versions of this game. So Flashback Lucy, of course, and the other one is a cyberpunk one. And here it is, Flashback Zombie Kids. It's kind of like I call it cyberpunk, but it's just like they use a lot of tech, and it's about zombie kids and all that stuff. And the zombie kids is like a double entendre to like or play on to kids who use their iPhones and such and their technology all the time. That's the gist of it. Flashback Lucy, and depending on which one you want, if you want like something more superhero-ish, something like the other one, the other theme, you can find your theme and pick the game. They all use the same mechanisms. It's just this one's going to be a new version, a new theme or new story. Flashback Lucy coming out to you March 27th by Scorpion Mask and Hachette. Coming up next, we have Marvel Champions Age of Apocalypse coming out to you on March 29th. So, Marvel Champions, I talk about it a lot. They have so many expansions, so I'm not going to go too deep into this. Just know it's a living card game, and I actually really enjoy the game myself. I'm a big comic book nerd. You guys already know this, and I love Marvel Champions. I think it's such a fun game. Age of Apocalypse brings you some new characters, some new scenarios to play through, and continues the line of the mutants, right? The X-Men being brought into Marvel Champions series. This looks like a lot of fun. Introduce some new villains like Magneto, Mr. Sinister, Strife, and also introduces Magic and Bishop as new playable characters. Cool stuff. I like Marvel Champions. That's as far as I'm going to go because I explain the game all the time. Check it out. I really do enjoy it. If you buy this specific expansion, you will need the base game. Geez, I actually am not too... So, no, actually, you do. I'm sorry. You do need a base game before you buy this expansion. Keep that in mind. You need a standalone copy of Marvel Champions, and then you also need to buy this expansion if you want to try it out. Try the core first, find out how you like it, and then move on to something else. However, I really do enjoy Marvel Champions. It's a really fun game. I love it. This is Marvel Champions Age of Apocalypse by Fantasy Flight Games coming out to you on March 29th. Moving on to Days of Wonder, Ticket to Ride Paris. Ticket to Ride Paris. It's Ticket to Ride. There's so many tickets. Oh, coming out to you on March 29th. Almost forgot to mention that. Ticket to Ride Paris. Ticket to Ride is a game that has been around for a super long time. You cannot miss it or go wrong. It's a game has a staple and has so many variations. They have a legacy game out for it now as well. So many. Specifically though, in Ticket to Ride Paris, some of them do add some different things, and I'm gonna tell you some different things in this one. In Ticket to Ride, the biggest thing is you have a gameplay similar to the original game, but with a playing time of only 15 minutes. So on a turn, you either collect transportation cards, spend these cards to claim a route on the game board, or draw tickets that show 2 locations that you need to connect with routes. So for example, in Paris, when you claim a blue, white, or red route, you keep a transportation card of the color in front of you instead of discarding all the cards. When you collect a card of each color, you made a French flag. Then you discard these cards and score bonus points. That's kind of like the gist of the game. Pretty cool. It's kind of like the gist, like I said, they change a couple things up, which I'm glad they do, because if they have the same game, and some of them are pretty similar, with just like a different destination involved, yeah. But this is played in 10 to 15 minutes, Ticket to Ride Paris. If you're a fan of Ticket to Ride games, or if you're kind of new to it, I think this is a good introduction to the game. Yeah, I would say seems like it's a really good introduction to the game. And also, if you're a vet and you own all Ticket to Rides, I can think at this point, actually not that close. I was almost going to say, like, if you are a Monopoly... I've met people who are collectors of Monopoly board games, and maybe you are a collector of Ticket to Ride games. That would be really interesting. I'd love to see... I was almost going to say that I feel like Ticket to Ride and Monopoly probably have the same amount of games out. I don't think so, though. Monopoly definitely has so many more variations of their game than Ticket to Ride does. Ticket to Ride, Paris, Days of Wonder, coming out to you on March 29th. Moving on to Divinus by Lucky Duck Games, coming out to you on March 29th. So, Divinus, interesting enough, is a game that I actually have I have it here. It just arrived. It was on Kickstarter, and now it's coming out to retail, which is super awesome. Divinus is a competitive legacy tile-laying digital hybrid game. So you play as a demigod, and you're seeking the favor of the gods, and you ascend to a new pantheon. You embark on like a 12 scenario campaign, and you're interacting with gods and the outcome and all that stuff. The gist of it, it's a tile drafting, tile placement style game. You're going to be playing it over 12 scenarios, and you're playing with your friends, of course. It's a legacy style game. In the game itself, you're going to be competing against your friends. It's not really a cooperative one. I myself am a fan of legacy games. I think they're so much fun. They just bring so much mystery, and I love things that have scenarios and chapters and all that jazz. I am really a big fan of that. So I'm excited to play Divinus. I was trying really hard to just give you an overview, and I'll go too deep because I'm kind of pumped and I don't want to get into spoilers to what happens. I'm excited. This is Divinus. If you like legacy style games, if you like tile-laying games, keep in mind, usually in a legacy game, if you don't know what that is that you usually go through and you kind of only play it once. Typically, I'm not sure if Divinus does this, but at the end of the campaign, you have your own custom built board or game. There are recharge packs you can buy for Divinus, and the recharge packs just refresh the game. Basically, you refresh the game out, because sometimes in legacy games, actually I think in most legacy games, you have to rip up components and trash things and get rid of things. That's the gist of it. I know a lot of people have I used to have trouble tearing out my games because I was so sensitive about it, but I fell in love with the whole legacy thing. I think it's just so much fun, and I really enjoy that. So this is Divinus by Lucky Duck Games, coming out to you on March 29th. We are at the end of the video. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it. If you made it this far, that is super awesome that you're listening to a random dude in the middle of the desert talk about some games or things that he's passionate about. I am really pumped. There's a lot of great games coming out, and there's so many more. I think last year, before I ended the year, I was talking about the fact that, like, wow, I wonder if 2024 is going to top 2023 releases. So far, I'm not sure. I can't say. I would have to put them like next to each other. Put them like put both two lists next to each other and see, like, look through everything. I actually have that list because I have a list of all the games that came out last year. At least the ones I could find release dates for. I probably miss some. I always do, because there's so many games releasing, and I don't always get exact release dates for. Sometimes games just magically pop up on store shelves. However, I try to cover all the most popular titles because those are the ones I usually can grab release dates for. Thank you for watching the video and making it this far. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section, what game are you going to be buying? Is it one that maybe I mentioned this list, or maybe you've been one you've been up for the past few weeks? You've been saving up your money and you said, I'm finally gonna buy X game. Let me know in the comment section. I want to know. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it, and have a good one.